much time trying to figure out why. Too much time being patient. All this time to feeling slice. Ain't no truth in your statements. Too much pain in these little white lies you left here. All this time trying to figure out how we're still here. I take pride in the things that we've done, side by side in the revolution. Won't stay silent for things that I love, cause we not and not care about us. White men can't jump, at least they can run. Brought these chains to put our hands up. They can never see the kingdom coming. You wanna see us all amount to nothing, no.
What's up, beautiful people, and welcome to Vision Ignited, your podcast for visionaries, artists, soulpreneurs who really want to make an impact in this world and take a first step towards their dreams. Today I'm here with Charley, a beautiful woman, muse, artist, singer, poet, everything that truly embodies femininity for me, that is so inspiring for many, many women. Also helping women to bring them into their full expression and voice, and that has been a huge part of her journey. So I'm happy to have you here today.
Thank you for that beautiful introduction. Oh my God, love that. What a way to begin.
And yeah, I'm curious to hear more about you and your own journey as well, and especially your journey finding into your own expression. So if you could just take us with you for a little bit.
I mean, how many hours do you have, babe? I'm joking. No, wow, okay. So this essentially has been, I would say, like a life journey for me. My life journey, if I could give it an arc, it would be suppression to expression. Yeah. I was a super expressive child, like loved to create shows, loved people to watch my shows, did ballet, sung, all of the things. And then somewhere around my early teens, I got really excited about a song that I created. It's my first song that I wrote that I was like so proud of. And I showed one of my family members and they were sweet about it, but the response was kind of not really what I had needed at that time. I remember sharing it and then being like, well, this is really beautiful, but you know, I want to hear Charley. Like, what does Charley sound like? And I absorbed that as you sound like other people, which trying to find your voice when you feel like you sound like other people is so difficult. And this consumed so many years for me because I was like, well, if I sound like other people, no one's going to want to hear me sing. So kind of adopted that story. And that became the kind of fear foundation that all of my stuff kind of went off. So I went to college, and college was the first time that I finally chose to do something about my music. Because I was like going through school, I was like, I just want to sing. I don't want to do any of this math. So like science was cool, I guess, but I didn't want to do any of the other stuff. I'm thinking of like the Bunsen burners and all of the practical things.
The witch came out.
I was, totally. I was very much a practical, like I learned through experience. So I'm very much like, it's better to throw me out into the wilderness and get me to learn something that way than it is to have me in a school.
Theory.
And I'm sure so many people 100%. Can relate to that one.
I think that's the heart of an artist in general. Like we have to experience, we have to like
get my hands dirty,
in our body and like
it's totally. It's so true. So so I went to college and I finally chose to do something with music. I decided to take a BTech class, which was essentially like I would do a little bit of music production, a little bit of theory, and then performance. Yeah. The performance piece for me was my edge because naturally I've had this fear for like a really long time at this point. So I met some really incredible people. That was probably the first time meeting a group of artists where I felt so seen and held and heard, and they wanted to hear more from me. So I would do a lot of backing harmonies for a lot of them, and then I would sing as well. But when it came to my performance, I would just be like in my freeze and have moments where, my voice would break or like all of these things. And that's even more traumatizing to someone that already has fear. Yeah. So again, I kind of like did it, but I didn't. I was kind of in and out. And then fast forward 6 or 7 years later, I was a flight attendant for a little bit, which was so not the job for me, but I got really incredible travel out of it. And then I decided that I wanted to travel more. So I left that job and I went to Asia, and somewhere in those 2 months I found Bali. And but for anyone listening, Bali is a place that, especially back then, like 5-6 years ago, there wasn't many nomadic lifestyles before pre-COVID times. Right. But it was the first place that I came and I found people that actually understood open-mindedness and like life by design. And I actually was surrounded by people that I'd admired on social media for a while. And I was like, oh wow, like this is possible for me. Like I actually need to leave the nest to really find, you know, my place, to find my place in the world. What is that? What do I want to do? And no one at this point knew that I sung. It wasn't something that I introduced. It wasn't something that I kind of shared as part of myself. But I met some really incredible women in the first couple of years. One in particular is still a very close friend of mine. I'll tell you the story that broke everything for me. So she was really excited to take me to this karaoke because like I'd sung a little bit with her, but just like, you know, just as friends in the shower getting ready, you know what I mean? I just said friends in the shower. That's not what I meant. I just realized what I said.
Girl, we're just friends in the shower. No worries.
I didn't mean it like that. My friends getting ready, you know, like when you're getting ready and you're in the shower with the hairbrush. Oh my God, what am I doing? Oh wow. Okay, well, we'll park that one. So you know what I mean.
Like, I'm not gonna cut it out of the video. It's gonna stay right there.
I hope you enjoyed that, guys. The hairbrush in the mirror, you know, like getting ready, you know, that's what I meant. The women who get it, get it. But I went to this karaoke event with her and she was like, let's go sing. I'm like, okay, cool, I'll do it with you, whatever. And I get on stage and she leaves me up there.
I love
and
that.
And I'm like,
that's the energy.
Get on stage right now. Like, we're doing this together. What do you mean? But anyway, so I seized the moment. At this point, everyone's staring at me. So I'm like, okay, I'll do something. So I sung, I think it was Valerie, with this other girl that was on the stage. And then I stayed and like did some as well. And it was the first moment that I experienced where it was like standing ovation, cheers and claps. And I was like, oh, that's what performance feels like. That's what it feels like to share your gift, to be received, to have what you're giving impact. And that impact level that I received in that night was like, oh, I need to do something with this. But still, my fear was there. So I did and I didn't. And then when it got to COVID time, we were kind of at the process of deciding whether we needed to self-isolate or we weren't kind of sure what was happening here, but we were aware that the elderly would get really affected by it. So we kind of like took it upon ourselves to kind of self-isolate a little bit, not go out as much. And my friend had an ukulele and I just found 4 chords and then I started playing and started singing and she was loving it. And then I started doing it in front of another couple of friends and they were loving it and they were like, wait, you sing? And I'm like, yeah, I sing. I love singing. Singing's my favorite thing. And they're like, we never would have known that about you. So then I start singing with them and then 2 of them buy me an ukulele and they're like, you need to continue. So I'm like, okay,
Supported you.
Right? Yeah. So I've been writing songs for a really long time, but I never put them anywhere. And then I started writing, with my ukulele, started writing some songs, and that's how my song Bali came about. I had a kind of relationship develop with someone online in Hawaii at the beginning of COVID, and that person flew me out to Hawaii. But before I left Bali, I'd created this song Bali, kind of like my love letter to Bali, like thank you for everything that you brought me and gifted me. And I would watch my friends experience their entire Bali journey behind their eyes when I sung it to them. And it was the first song that people had sung back to me. So I would sing it and then they would sing it back to me and I'm like, oh my God, like that, there's something about that feeling that is just,
connection.
It's incomparable. It's really hard to describe what that feels like, but it's like, you know how these really big artists get really huge and they have that moment when the entire crowd sings their song back and they're like, whoa, like I made it. I had my like mini version of that. You know, it was like, oh, I get it. This is what this is. This is the feeling of like that impact and receptivity of like sharing your art and sharing your gifts with the world and having it be received and felt and mirrored back to you is such a beautiful sensation.
I have a question right there for you.
Tell me.
I always say your environment makes or breaks you.
Oh, yeah.
Can you share a little bit about that for you, how important it was to change your environment and how important it was to put yourself around people that are really supportive and do actually see you and what changed for you there and how you see yourself as well?
Wow. Yeah. Oh, God. So I truly believe that there's this really beautiful quote, actually. Let me see if I can try and remember it without butchering it. There's this really beautiful quote that says, if a flower isn't in bloom, you don't change the flower, you change the environment it's in. And the way that I see it, it's like, if you're not blooming in an environment, it's not because you're not worthy of bloom, it's because you're not getting the correct nourishment. And for me, I've always been a free spirit. I've always been someone that's been kind of black sheep vibe, like always been kind of in with the crowd, kind of out of it, like friends with so many different people in so many different years, like just everywhere all at once. You know, friends with, I never had like there was a really long time in my life where I really like tried so hard to fit in. Like I really just wanted to have the bag that every girl had, or like I wanted to be with the cool kids, but I never really fully kind of like landed in that space because I just wasn't meant to. And I didn't know this at the time. So I would like have so much resistance to being different and being kind of singled out. And I've had my whole life I've been singled out. So I kind of knew the pattern of what I didn't want to experience anymore. And I do think it's a really brave thing to do what I did, to just go on a whim and just go to the other side of the world and figure it out. I've had so much test and trial doing that, and I think a lot of people are scared to do it because they don't know what's going to happen. But I'm very much a person, if I don't fuck around, I won't find out. So it's for me, the reason for staying was strong enough to push me into a place where I needed to leave. Like my reason for staying was so constrictive to me that leaving felt so freeing, and my reason for doing it had to be stronger than my reason for not, and it was. So it's interesting that you said about the environment piece, because the next part of the story is I got to Hawaii, and I was kind of, the relationship that I went for didn't work out immediately. So I had a choice. I could either come back to Bali or I could stay for a couple of months and try and work something out. So I was essentially like dropped on the doorstep of this guy who ended up becoming a really good friend of mine. And I was playing in the garden one day with my ukulele, and I wrote this song, Gold, which actually has never been released. I still have that song kind of like in my body and space and mind. I wrote it and I was like, oh, I think this might be really good. And I wrote the song in like 10 minutes and I didn't know though. So I was like, okay, I've still had a little bit of self-doubt. I was like, is this good? Am I tripping? But like it's a vibe at the same time. Yeah. So I got him, his name's Kevin Paris, incredibly talented musician as well. I was like, hey Kevin, like, can I show you this song? Like, I think it might be good, but I'm curious to get your opinion. And I played it for him and he was like, you wrote that just now? And I was like, yeah, in like 10 minutes in the garden. And he's like, we need to get in the studio now, because he's an artist too. So I ended up being put in this house and moving in with an artist who then produced my first 7 songs. And I think 5 of them were released. And in this period of time being in this house in Hawaii, our house is kind of like the artist house. We called it the honey house. And artists would fly in from LA and then fly out again. And we had artists that were like living on the island as well. So we kind of had that rotation of poets and musicians and all of these things. And what I loved about that house, and this speaks so into the environment piece, it's like every single morning we would have a little morning routine for ourselves, and the poets would write a poem, I would write a song, he would do something that's like musical. And at any point of the day, at any time, if one of us wanted to share something, we would say, hey, like I have this thing, can I share it with you? And everyone would drop everything and be there and witness and be present and receive. And that level of someone being, like a community of people being there and seeing me and wanting more and trying to pull more out of me was like, wow. I couldn't be more grateful for that gift. Like I don't feel that everyone gets that gift of being able to be seen and witnessed and felt, and also be encouraged to be more of you. And that kind of solidified my desire to be able to offer that to other women, especially. Like, I love that. Community and environment I think plays a huge role in anything that you do, because it's the people that are around you. If they're not nourishing you correctly, if they're not reciprocal, if it's not feeding the creative, it's not feeding, and it's doing the opposite of that, it's really hard to bloom.
Absolutely.
It's really hard to see yourself and your value for what it actually is, to see the gift as medicine. So that community piece in Hawaii, like for me, was
game changer. It
started in Bali, it flourished in Hawaii, and then when I came back to Bali, it was just like go, everyone was on board. I'd had songs out at this point. It was like So essentially,
it was a different resonance after for you with also the people that you interacted with and stuff.
Completely.
And I can totally see there how important that part was for you. Also, I can imagine on that journey from making music for validation, because there was still this part of you that said, okay, I sound like everybody else, and like I need kind of validation and proof that I'm still worthy enough to make music and to be seen and to express myself, to like coming into the community that actually sees you for you. And is so open to hold you, to be present and really hold that space for you to just be in your feminine expressive power, to just let it all flow and then let that go as well, like that transformation or internal process that you've been going through the whole time, and like shedding layer after layer after layer to find your true authentic expression in there is so powerful. I love that, and I think that is so essential. I love how you said that, to finding, because we always say find your own voice, find your voice, but what is my voice? And I think that is exactly what you've experienced there. My voice is just,
I think it's less about finding your voice and more about remembering it.
Exactly.
It's less about, you're not discovering something new, you're
reconnecting
removing
with it in
what's
your body.
in the way.
Yeah, totally. I love that. So you were really, you said it before, you are a brave girl. You're like, damn, I'm just gonna go here and there, whatever, let me fly all over the world and do all this crazy stuff.
Funny, yeah.
But right there, can you recall that moment where you really felt your heart calling you, that inner strong call for you to now I'm taking this leap of faith and I'm just following that? And what role music especially played in this?
I feel like I've had so many of those moments in my life. So many of those moments.
Maybe you can recall like that the most challenging one, right? The first one that really takes you out of your old world, your old self experience.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, I feel like the two that stand out the most are the one where I decided to move to Bali and the one where I chose to go to Hawaii. It was like those two. I always say, for anyone who's not experienced either Bali or Hawaii, like Bali taught me how to open my heart and Hawaii taught me how to live through it. It's like, I think it's really important to note that though my journeys, like there was a lot of bravery and a lot of risk taking and a lot of kind of big leaps that I took, I worked for what I've got. There was a lot of moments where I was, struggling. There was a lot of moments where I had to have financial support from family. There's been a lot of moments where I've had to really kind of look at the things in the way of living that fullest expression. It took a lot of mindset work, a lot of self-love work, a lot of mirrored reflection of where my own shadow, my own distortion had been for so much of my life, which took a lot of forgiveness from self and also from, family, friends, all the things that I experienced. I don't want it to seem like it was easy, because it wasn't. But I would say the choice of the heart for me, when I had these 2 months in Bali in 2018, it was inevitable for me that I needed to come back. It was like honestly leaving and going back to the UK and feeling, even just being in the airport, it was just like, zoom. And I was like, oh, I don't thrive here. Which is really interesting because my astrocartography, my astrology for like locations has nothing around UK, like nothing near it. So and I'm like, to a large degree, I'm an astrology girly. Like I do believe in the impact that certain lines have, and I just don't have anything around the UK. So it was really interesting. But I would say that the first decision that I had that was kind of heart-led actually didn't have anything to do with music. It was just the environment I knew I needed to be in.
Oof,
I know, I felt your goosebumps. Yeah. It wasn't actually about the music for me. I didn't even know that would be a development, even though I know I'm meant for it. It took me moving to Bali, healing a lot of what was the residue of what was in my heart, to actually be open to music being a possibility for me. Even though I knew I was gifted in songwriting, I was gifted in writing, I was gifted in melody, and I knew I had those gifts, but I needed to believe it and I needed to clear what was here before I could do that.
It's so interesting because I can literally feel your heart and like this. It feels like a sadness, but like a grief of release.
Oh yeah.
Like this.
Yeah.
I can finally breathe.
Oh yeah. It was like the biggest exhale.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the second one. I mean, the decision to go to Hawaii, I wanted to go to Hawaii since I was a kid, unexplainably. I've always had this obsession and like affinity with Hawaii that I could never understand, because there's no logical reason. I have no ancestry there. Like, it just didn't, I have no idea. That in Japan, yeah, you know, soul place. And I think the decision to lead with the music came in the honey house. It was choosing to really go for it and lean in. And I remember, honestly, Kevin's been an angel from the beginning of my music journey in regards to Hawaii. Kevin really was an angel, because I remember this one time, and I haven't thought about this in so long, and he was like, okay, we're gonna sing, I'm gonna play the guitar and you're gonna sing Gold, and you're gonna sing it as strong as you can.
Into our flow, there's nowhere else you'll ever really wanna go, babe. You're my sunshine, dripping you in gold. My liquid sunshine, dripping you in gold. I drip my high grade honey on your soul and make you feel things that you never know, babe. You're my sunshine, dripping you in gold. My liquid sunshine, dripping you in gold.
So yeah, there's a lot of tools that help you to gain more self-awareness and self-understanding. What would you say, why is this the key for your personal creation process, or in general the key when you really want to create your visions and follow your visions?
In regards to embodiment?
In regards to embodiment, but yeah, truly, like, why do you think self-awareness is key?
Oh my God.
In your creation process.
Holy moly.
Bringing your visions into life, basically.
Wow. Well, I think self-awareness is essential, period. Like,
yeah.
I truly believe that the more aware you are of self, it's like, how do I describe this? The way that I see it and where I'm at with my body and my being right now is, because I'm so self-aware, I can almost witness myself experiencing reality, which means that I can make conscious choices that are really true to what my body is feeling, rather than what my mind is trying to tell me is true. I believe that the body has all the answers and the mind is there to support, but can distract. It can also become really damaging if you spend too much time in your head. And as women as well, we're in-body beings, so our disconnection from our body is actually what keeps us away from feeling. We're felt sense beings. We're here to feel reality. So when we're in our mind and we're disconnected from our body, we don't feel ourselves. We don't feel or hear our intuition. It's such a self-awareness taught me how to live instead of just existing. It showed me how I operate, and it guides me to understand where my emotion comes from, where my art comes from, what inspires me, how I move in the world, how I relate to other people. I write from experience, so a lot of my music and my sound and the things that I create are written from things that I've either witnessed in another or experienced myself. If I don't have self-awareness, I can't touch on the emotion and the rawness and the realness that I've experienced. I can't feel the essence of what someone else has been through. It's almost like my sensation just dissipates. I kind of dissolve into this void of numbness and kind of like a glaze on reality. I didn't know this when I was younger, so I actually had a lot of suppressed anger. I had a lot of, you know, we have a lot of things happen in childhood. Things happen, life happens, like divorces happen, all these things happen, and I'm a manifestor human design, so my not self theme is anger. For those of you that don't know human design, it's a really smart operating system of how everyone in the world operates. We all fall under 5 designs, and my one, the not self theme, is anger. So having held so much of that emotion in when I was a child, I was numbed out. I was numbed out to my expression, my emotion. I just was living numb, you know? So the journey of suppression to expression, more than anything, embodiment is embodiment. You have to be in the body to embody.
Yes.
So being self-aware and learning self-awareness is really essentially like looking at yourself in a mirror every day. It's like, I see life as a mirror. I see my experiences as a reflection of things that I get to understand how I operate, how to create, how to relate. I think self-awareness is the number one essential for living a life by design, living a life that is fulfilling and nourishing. You essentially, instead of becoming just someone who exists, you become a student of life, and you get to take the medicine of what you're being shown outside and really learn to work with yourself inside. And when it comes to embodiment, I don't think you can truly be self-aware with, like, have fully activated embodiment without self-awareness.
It's so interesting. I love that. I would like to challenge you here a little bit, or let's put it differently. Maybe you can share a key tool or practice for you that help you to bring all the self-awareness, because a lot of self-awareness for a lot of people happens in the mind, and it is very mind focused. It's like, I know a lot, I know it, and even the more self-awareness I gain, the more I'm re-traumatizing myself, and I'm like so aware of everything, but I still keep staying in the same loop. So there's another, I think, bridge we need to build between the self-awareness happening in the mind, the mirror reflection of what I'm able to observe and see, towards what am I really starting to embody and feel in my body, and also respond to from the body. So what has been a practice maybe for you that really helped you to build that bridge between the self-awareness from the mind to the body?
Well, firstly, I think not everyone, there are some people that are definitely more mind focused and they're naturally more in their head, which
like
I think
manifestors,
which is important. It's important to know about yourself. When
Absolutely.
you know that you spend a lot of time in the mind, your goal is to get into the body.
Yeah.
So there's a number of things that I would suggest, like anything that requires movement of the body that almost like forces you to be in your body. Then I find nature for me, and this is specifically for how I operate. Nature for me is like the most grounding in-body thing that I could do. Just like going and laying on some moss, or being in a waterfall, or being in the ocean. Something that kind of like, to be in the body is to really activate your senses. I love that. Yes. So when we're in the mind, we're either thinking about the future, the past, or we're cycling in our things. To be embodied, to be in your body, requires presence, and presence requires senses. So my practice is normally, if I feel like I'm too in my head, I will drop into my body through senses. So I will be so present with what I'm seeing, but I'll see every layer of, so if I'm seeing a leaf, a palm leaf or something, I'll see every layer of that leaf. If I'm on the grass, I will feel, like truly bring myself to feeling what's underneath me. If I'm one of my favorite things about Bali in the world, oh god, it's my favorite, is driving in the morning and smelling the incense on the street. It's literally nectar to the soul. You wake up and you just go out early, and like they're doing all the offerings. Like an incense shower already, right? Cleanse for the morning. I'm done. And it's like especially
arriving first,
you know,
right?
And especially for women, it's like, like I said, we're such felt sense beings. So our senses are really the thing that help us like invoke pleasure, indulgence, like. We want that juicy feeling to be felt through us, and the way to do that is to really ignite the senses. And I will say that I think the practice for me that's not even actually to do with the senses, but one that broke me through everything, that I think is very underspoken about and very underused, is mirror work. Yeah. I have sat with myself. There was a period of time after a breakup a couple of years ago, and this is again, I go to extremes. I do not recommend doing it in the length and extremity that I did, but I sat in front of the mirror for like 2 months every single night for like an hour, and I watched myself go through this breakdown of my relationship, of my community, of my, like, it was my Saturn return, so everything kind of crumbled, and I witnessed myself in the lowest of the low, and I let myself see myself in the mirror, and I fully just let whatever one, I had rage come up, I had grief come up, I had moments where I just felt so much shame, and I watched it all happen through the mirror. And that sounds very intense, because it is. It's essentially putting the mirror up to all of the parts of yourself that you find icky, that you want to avoid, that you don't want to experience.
Yeah.
But in order to be in your fullest expression, you need to create space at the table for all of it. And it doesn't mean that, I like to see every like emotion, kind of like, you know, Inside Out, the movie Inside Out, when they're in the head and you can see like all of the little emotions. So I kind of see it like that, a little less cartoony, but I see it as my like round table, right? So I have love, I have joy, I have excitement, like, or whatever all of the beautiful emotions are. They get a seat at the table always. But it's not my role to keep the other ones away. So what I do is I invite them to the table. I let them give me their medicine. I ask them what they need, with each other. And then I send them away. Like, I don't need shame to drive my car, but I do need shame to tell me what's still here so I can move it. So there's more space for joy. There's more space for love. So yeah, that I would say the embodiment practice that is essential is funny because it's essential senses. Like, I feel like to tap into the senses and to really feel and receive the moment around you, like what is around you that you can smell, that you can hear, that you can feel, that you can see, like and really going into it, really being present with it. And I do feel the key to presence is breath. Yeah. Conscious breathing, just consciously taking your breath. A conscious breath tells your body it's safe to be in the moment. So that's how you get into the moment, and then activating the senses and really amplifying the receptivity of those senses is what keeps you in that. That to me feels like the only way.
And I think with breath, I would like to add that it's even more essential to allow yourself to exhale rather than inhale. So like take a deep exhale, because we like to hold on to a lot of things. But I love that. Let's put it together as ignite your senses to ignite your vision. I really, really love that. It's like a nice translation.
Like a bumper sticker.
Hey,
I love that.
Yes, girl.
Like
let's
that
go.
In my car.
And to also, the mirror work. I've been there. I've done it. I love it. I'm totally right there with you. It's like this deep emotional work, and that happens through presence, when really everything can just be there. And even sitting in the front of the mirror is also activating all of your senses of like what is here right now present with me, to let everything flow through your body and to get that taste of life again, which is strongly connected to your sacral chakra, right? The powerhouse of your own creation. So thank you for that. I really I think there's a lot of beautiful nuggets in there for people to take out of there with them. So to end it here, last question. Is there something that you would like to share with a soul out there that is still stuck in this in-between of, I feel the call to follow, to step into my artistry, to follow my heart, to want to express myself more, to go for it and take a leap of faith as well, but I'm still hesitant and so in my fear. What would you tell that someone?
I would say that you've spent a lifetime living with fear and it hasn't brought you to where you want to be. Try having a little faith and see where it takes you.
I have goosebumps again.
Because you don't want to circle in fear anymore. You don't want that. And the only regret that you have is the chance you didn't take. So the risk of not the choice to do it has to be stronger than the risk of not doing it. And if you look around at your life now and you feel disconnected from it, you don't feel like it's you don't feel inspired by it, then the only person that can change that is you.
I love that.
Start small. Small steps are significant steps, even more than the big ones, because they're the little habits that you build each day that slowly start to eat away at that fear, and that slowly start to encourage belief in yourself. So I would say that.
I love that. Thank you so much. Amazing. Cool. Yeah. That is so powerful. Exactly. You are the creator of your own reality. and start doing that. And even I think to remember that we are so privileged to actually have this choice. Like, we choose to stay in suffering while others are suppressed in suffering. So
That's a whole other conversation.
yeah, but I'm saying, like, to
Totally.
just remind yourself how
Yeah.
privileged you are to actually really be able to have a choice and to choose for yourself in every aspect when it
Yeah.
comes to that, and really use that privilege again to serve not only yourself but the world and for all the people that can't.
And I would add to
So-
that as well that your ancestors didn't fight for what they fought for you to stay small in this life. Like, we are here because of the choices that they made that allow
Exactly.
us to have
Honor
choice. We're doing it for the
Yeah.
matriarchal lineage that has passed, but we're also doing it to pass on to the
Yes.
matriarchal lineage that will continue through us.
Exactly.
So it's not about us. It's about the feminine
Way more.
and giving the feminine its rightful place of expression. The feminine is expression. Without that, the world ceases to exist.
Yes.
Like, we need that. Like,
Yes.
make the art.
Yes!
Make the art.
Make the art! Do it!
Create yours things.
Ignite your vision, baby! I love that. Okay, my love. So just for everyone else, I will also put the links down there where we can find you. But if
Yay.
you just want to share, where can people find you? Where can they connect with you? How can they follow you?
Yes. Oh, wow. Okay. So you can connect with me on Instagram at Charley Noda, on Spotify, on SoundCloud, on all of the things with the same name. And then on Substack, you can find me at House of Musea.
Love that.
Yeah.
Great.
Yay.
Okay, my love. Thank you so much.
Thank you, my love.
Guys, thank you for being here with us today. Thank you for watching the podcast and listening. And if you enjoyed it, drop some comments. And I'll see you again next week.
And woohoo!